Every week we do our Facebook live session open Q&A. Everyone usually has fitness questions that they want to get asked. They don't always have the opportunity to get it answered. So we're trying to fulfill that for you. If you have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat for the post. If you're watching this on the replay, you can always throw it in the chat. We'll get to the questions in next week's live session when we go from there. All right. So today, I haven't seen any questions submitted yet. So I wanted to open with um, approaching your fitness and health in the aspects of what can you do on a consistent basis. A lot of times, too many people initiate a program doing the full all-out extreme, whether it be cleanses, things like 75 hard, um, and a whole bunch of other things where, either we're completely overhauling and dumping the way you were eating, or we're going from 0 to 5 or more times in the gym, trying to fit workouts in. The challenge with that approach is oftentimes it ends up just setting ourselves up for that feeling of failure because we're not there yet, or because we immediately start having struggles out of the gate because going from 0 workouts to 5 a week is a huge increase. That's a minimum of a 2.5 hour increase in time commitment typically for your workouts, which is a huge change. I don't care who you are. Same thing with food. If you're trying to completely overhaul the types of food you're eating, what you're eating, when you're eating it, how much time you're giving yourself to eat it, what time of day you're allowing yourself to eat now, um, it creates a lot of strain and stress in an already stressful life. Because if you weren't stressed out, you probably wouldn't be struggling to maintain your health and your fitness in the first place. So let's not add to that. Let's instead work on identifying a few key things that you can do consistently, differently, in a better way now, and start with those. Get our successes and then build on that success. So, if 5 days a week at the gym is unrealistic, let's start with one. Let's start with maybe two. Maybe we start with walking instead. Something that you can do that's manageable. Don't pick a time of day for your workouts that you're going to dread doing. I enjoy working out, but very rarely will you catch me scheduling an early morning workout for myself unless I just absolutely have to. And I'm still not going to look forward to it. Okay. You've got to pick times a day that it works for you and your schedule, your sanity, your sleep. Some people, they love that first thing in the morning, straight out of bed, straight into their workout, and it works for them. They do it really well. Awesome, more power to them. But that doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. So you have to pick that routine that does fit your schedule so it can be routine. Because if it's something that you're constantly pulling teeth and combating against other people in your household, in your work, or other components of your life to make it fit, it's just not going to work out long term. So start with the things that you can control and keep on a consistent basis first to start seeing the best types of success. If you do that, you'll find more motivation because you're now starting with success rather than starting with struggle and that perception of failure. Because it's really easy when we're trying to do something, 5 days a week and we're only doing it one, to feel like a failure. When in reality, you've gone from 0 to 1 day a week with your workouts, which is really awesome. Okay. Not enough people appreciate the difficulty of that first step in making that change. So don't overstress yourself by trying to do too much too soon. Find those things that work consistently, a time of day that works for your activity, eating habits that work for your schedule. So if you like breakfast and you like making time for the breakfast, awesome. Let's make sure we set up a routine that allows for a healthy, well managed breakfast so you can start off your day right. If the likelihood of you getting up, having that well balanced, healthy breakfast is just not going to happen because you're the type of person that rolls out of bed, into the shower, into clothes, and out the door, then trying to create a eating plan that would require otherwise is going to be a constant struggle for you. So instead, planning on something light, something quick, which maybe you can do on the way out the door, or you can do once you get to work, and then you have your bigger meals with lunch and dinner. It ultimately eating, when it comes to balancing your weight, is calories in and calories out. When those calories occur, we're finding more and more it doesn't really matter as long as the deficit is in existence. So you're taking in less than what you expend per day. There's no, we're not little mogwai that are going to turn into gremlins because you eat after a certain time. And because you ate after 7 p.m., we turn into, big, obese monsters. It's just most people, by the time 7 o'clock is hit, have already had their allotment of calories, and everything else that we're eating is just going extra. So there's no like magic times a day really for the day to day person, as long as you're moving each day, eating in a deficit on a consistent basis. Okay, it can't just be one day and expect magical things to happen. We have to start making it consistent. Okay, but in order to get to that consistency, you have to identify things that you can do in a realistic and manageable way. So if 5 days a week is unreasonable, start with one, start with two, something that you know you can do week after week on a consistent basis. If overhauling your food is completely unrealistic, pick maybe it's just one meal a week that you're going to really dial in and make it more well balanced. Make it so it's something you're making instead of getting from the drive through. Make it so it's something that has whole food ingredients instead of processed packaged things that you're getting from the grocery store. Just those little improvements that you can start implementing go a long way in creating change in your life. So I hope that helps some people. If you have questions on it, feel free to throw it in the comments. We'll get to them in the next live. In the meantime, have a great week, and remember to stay persistent in your consistent pursuit of health.